Hi there, I'm Buddha and you're watching Dr. Guitar, a show for all you guitarists out there. Today we are comparing two classic octave pedals, the Boss OC2 and the Micro POG, the Electro Harmonics Micro POG. First of all, what is an octave pedal? Well, an octave pedal takes your guitar signal and tunes it down one octave. So you have two different signals. Your straight signal from your guitar, and you have usually a blend or a volume for the octave down signal. So you kind of have a perfect bass player that knows exactly every note you play and makes the same mistakes as you play. The octave is not used to replace a bass player, although it can be used like it. I use it, for example, when I play in a bossa nova trio that I have, Trio Pagu. We don't have a bass player, so I have not the OC2 but the OC3 because it has a range knob that can, and it is polyphonic, so I can play chords. I play the guitar to the guitar amp, and then from the I take the direct out of the OC3 to the guitar amp, and then the bass out or the octave out, I'll plug it into the PA system or a bass amp, and there's my bass. But I don't usually use the octave as a bass player. I use it to get a deeper tone and kind of a double effect, as you probably noticed on the intro song. I've used the OC2 for a long time. It's a great boost pedal because it has the dry signal has a little boost in volume, and since you add an octave, it will turn your overdrive amp or your overdrive pedal into a little more overdrive thing, and it has it's not perfectly time aligned, so it has a little delay and a little. The pedal has to think about the note you are playing into it, although the Micro POG has a lot more delay, and it's almost an effect delay, a digital glitch, and that's why I don't like it so much. The OC2, I think it's because of the tracking, but you kind of hear, it seems like there's two people playing. It's not a delay, but it's really organic, and that's why it's so used. So many musicians like it and search for it and use it. It's an amazing octave pedal. For example, in a Buddha Power Blues song that is called "Tony, My German Friend," that is dedicated to my dear friend Tony, I used the OC2 with the ZVEX Fuzz Factory. I used it to create a sense of kind of a baritone guitar. Playing, it is in C, and instead of tuning the guitar down to C to have the deep drop tuning, I put the octave in it, and it sounds like that. It's great on bass. It's really, really great on bass, and it's a very useful pedal. How do they work? The OC2 produces a synth like bass octave, so it's not detuning of your guitar sound. It's kind of, I don't know how they make it, but it sounds like a synth bass, not like your guitar tuned down, not like your guitar tuned down one octave. While the Micro POG does it, it sounds like your guitar tuned down an octave. It's kind of probably the same thing as the Digitech whammy, it in and probably it's the reason why it has a little latency. It has a little delay because it needs to process your signal and then tune it down 1 octave. The POG generates an octave below, and it also can generate an octave above, but it's digitally pitched. So it analyzes what you're playing, and in real time, almost in real time, it pitches it up and down 1 octave. Since it is analyzing your playing in real time, there's always a little latency, and you'll notice it a lot more if you play higher on the fretboard, or if you plug or if you play the octave up in the POG. So it sounds like a really short delay, and it makes it stops your guitar being in the face. It makes it like you have a short delay on your guitar. Guys like Jack White use it a lot. The Rival Sons also use it all. Well, everyone is using the POG. I don't find it really musical because I find it too digital and too fake. But I get it why people like it, because it's an effect. If you like that kind of effect, it's cool. When it comes to octave, I really love this OC2, and it's not the same as the OC3, although the OC3 has OC2 modeling, but it doesn't sound the same. It's really close, but it doesn't sound the same. Let me know if you want. I can probably do a comparison between the OC2 and the OC3 later on. Let me know if it would be interesting to you. So, in the intro song, I recorded one guitar using the OC2, the first one. Then the second guitar is using the micro POG, and then they are panned left and right. And I added the bass with the OC2 into the AMEK, into my AMEK BA15 amp. The guitars were recorded with the Royal Atlantic Mesa Boogie on both gain channels. How do they call it? On the low and the high channel, because the Royal Atlantic has two gain channels that share all controls except master, but they are voiced really different. So the intro is on the blue channel, the low channel, which is a lot more mid-rangey and a lot less bassy and a lot less overdriven. And then when the riff, the heavy riff kicks in, I turn on the high channel, and the solo is also done on the high channel with the OC2. Okay, now I will show you the isolated tracks from the intro song so you can have a better perspective on how the pedal sounds by itself and not in a musical context. Then I will show you some examples playing the both pedals and comparing them. So the main difference between the Boss OC2 and the Micro POG is that the Micro POG analyzes your guitar signal. It creates a digitally octave below in microseconds. But because of that, it has a really, really tiny latency. You notice it more when you use the octave up, because it gets kind of not even a slap back, but you notice some space in it. It seems like you're not. It seems like you're having a really short delay. And the OC2 creates a synth generator, so it generates an octave below by synthesis, like a synthesizer, like a keyboard. So it's a lot less guitar sounding, the OC2, the octave on the OC2, but it's a lot faster when it comes to producing tone. The POG is a lot better when tracking because it can really be fast, and it is polyphonic, so you can play chords, which is a huge advantage. Even if you're playing power chords, it will be good. So they are different sounding. The OC2 is a huge classic, and the POG is becoming a new classic. Let's hear how they sound. They sound quite similar in these settings. The Boss has a lot more volume for the octave and has a second octave down. I'm not using it just for us to compare it really, really close. So you have the octave down volume, the direct volume, which the Boss has a little boost. So I'm using it to be the same as with the pedal off, and you have the volume for the second octave. With the Micro POG, you have the volume for the dry, which at max is the same as it is with the pedal off. We have the sub octave, which is an octave down, and we have an octave up, which is turned off at the moment. So when you're playing, octaves are really great for riffs and for and listen carefully. The POG creates, you hear it the most on the higher notes. It creates kind of a bathroom feel because of the delay, of the short delay. Listen carefully. Let's compare it to the OC2. A lot cleaner, a lot cleaner than the POG, because it's tighter. So you hear the synth note being produced at the same time as the guitar's note. And that's why this pedal is so well loved. But it can play chords. So if you play chords, it's a real mess. It's really strange. Although the POG, The POG can really do it really well. Okay, but I really love using Octave. Either I'm playing mute notes, and I'm playing the role of the bass player almost. Let's listen to the OC2 in the same kind of mood. Yeah, I love this pedal, man. It's really amazing. To me, the Micro POG sounds a little digital because of the latency, but it's really great if you want to play chords. But and I'll show you a great usage because of the octave on the POG is a lot more. It sounds a lot more like a guitar, as the octave on the OC2 sounds nothing like a guitar. Sounds like a synth bass. And let's listen just to the octave on the OC2. I'll turn off the volume. So this here sets the direct volume. I've turned it off, and let's hear only the octave down. Okay, you hear it. It's very synthy. With the POG, just the octave. So you kind of hear the natural octave, although it's completely turned off. But you kind of hear it, which is strange. Let's compare it again. And just by curiosity, let's turn on the second octave. It's too deep. Probably better for bass. Okay. But this is really great. The POG octave is really great if you want to lower the pitch one octave of your guitar. So, for example, in Buddha Power Blues, I have a song that is called "Gotta Do Something," and I played it in a baritone guitar. Whenever I travel, by playing it, I can't take my second guitar, my baritone guitar. I can use the POG to play it. So the riff is in B, because it's a baritone, but I play it as if I was playing it in E. But if I try to play the riff, this is a drive riff. If I try to play the riff in B, regular, it will sound like this. if I use the octave and probably raise a little of the natural sound just for better tracking and better understanding of the note. If I play it like this, it will sound like. As if I play it with the OC2, it sounds like this. So it sounds like a synth being played, and not like a guitar. So the POG as its use, but for a general octave thing, as I did in the intro, I really prefer the tightness and the realness of the OC2, blended, of course, with the direct signal, because it really tracks well, and it has a character to it. I have the OC3 too, but it doesn't sound the same as the OC2. We'll probably do a video on that, but this sounds really, really great with drive. Both of them sound really great with drive. So heavy riffs as I played in the intro. The OC2 has a lot more. I hope this translates well in the microphones, because the OC2 is really deeper in bass. It really creates a kind of a bass thing going on. As for the POG, it has the octave, but it doesn't have the power below. The POG has a great thing, the octave up. And it works really well with drive. If you use it with drive, it sounds like Rival Sons use it a lot. Well, that's it. I hope you liked it. I hope this has been useful to you. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do it. It's very important. It means a lot to me and to us and to all the community. The more we are, the better. So please go and subscribe to the channel, share it with the world, and thank you so much for watching the show. I'll see you next week.